otherwise it's not gonna work. It won't come out. It won't work. So you open the box. You take the little tube. You take the tube that carries the liquid, and then it has like a Q-tips in a little plastic. You register the bottle online, on the phone or your computer, whatever. So you swab the Q-tips on your nose, the same side you swab it in which hole, every side of the nose, and then the Q-tips you put it in the tube, and the little tube that have the water, the liquid. You close the recipient, you close it. Of course, you already registered the thing. You close it, the recipient, and you put it in the plastic in the way it should be done. Then I'm gonna tell you how to do it. And then after you put it in that envelope, that same day before 5, you have to drop it by Publix. There is like a garbage place. But it says FedEx. In that place, you have to drop the envelope. And the results are going to come back to you within 3 days maximum, 3-4 days. But you have to do it, like, let's say, tomorrow morning. You do it, it doesn't have to be in the morning. Anyway, before like 3. So you have time to take it to Publix. You know what I mean?
Alicia, I know you're drunk right now, or like you've been drinking a little bit. No, like I know you have the excuse that this isn't your first language, but I feel like even with that excuse, there's still some space left over for someone to question why you sound like you do.
Okay, here's the thing. The box brings material that needs to be used the same day that needs to be sent. Otherwise, it won't work. They won't accept it. That's the thing.
And you're saying that FedEx comes at like 5?
Before 5 has to be dropped because that's the last time they pick up the things from that place in Publix. That is the closest one. This Publix here. Has to be before 5. I don't know if they can come to you to pick it up because I didn't try. I just went there and dropped it. But I guess if you do it in the morning and you call and wait that they answer, and I wouldn't risk it because do you really feel bad to take the test?
I feel okay, but I feel like maybe I'm a little bit paranoid. So
No,
I'd rather
have you been exposed to someone with COVID?
You never know because like I'm not working right now, so it's harder for me to keep track of like my interactions with people and like the exposure. But like there's been at least like 5 times that I went to the gas station without the mask on. So you know, like I don't want to risk it. I'd rather like just get tested, get my result, and then go from there.
Okay, but here's the thing. You can always ask for the test again. I did order my test in Sebastian, and I have it here to use it whenever I need it. But here's the thing. They send it again. So the thing is that if you don't have a fever, you're not coughing, you're not like you didn't lose your smell, your sense of taste. If you don't have, like, if you just feel paranoid, don't waste it. I wouldn't do it. If you don't feel sick, for what? You're going to waste the test. Don't do it. unless you.
Alicia, I know, Alicia, I know you want me to die, but like, you have,
Don't
you
lie.
have to, you have to, you have to look at it from a humanistic point of view. Like, I know you want me like gone to turn to dust, but you have to like, but you have to look at it from a more humanitarian point of view, okay?
You don't feel bad, so people are like, do you have a fever?
No.
Are you coughing? No, I don't feel it. No, I don't hear any coughing. Have you sneezed? Have you sneezing or something?
No.
Are you super tired?
Sometimes I feel like I have some kind of fatigue.
But sometimes, like, it's constant, or it's something that it happened, like it's new.
No, I just feel like I have like low energy sometimes.
But you told me when I saw you a couple of weeks ago that you were exhausted. Um, I wouldn't use it unless you have a fever, unless you're coughing, unless. I tell you something. My brother-in-law had COVID. My nephew had COVID. The whole combo. Everybody had COVID. And they didn't go to the hospital until they had fever for 3 days. Of course, my brother-in-law feels that he's a superhero, and he got to the point that he went with a pneumonia and blah blah blah. But he had high fever, so there were people in the house that did not have any symptoms and got negative. So I have like the whole picture of a family that were exposed. Some of them did not have any symptoms. Some of them had kind of like bad symptoms. I wouldn't waste it. Just keep it there unless you feel really sick. Don't waste it.
I should only take it when like there are signs that I like have like terminal illness symptoms. Like
No, not terminal at all. If you
yeah.
have a fever, you go and take the test. Instead of going to those places that you're really going to be exposed, you don't have nothing, but then you get it from the other that is in the line. No. For that thing, I told you to get the test online. But no, but it's your decision again. If you want to do it, I can help you. And we do the FaceTime tomorrow morning because it's in the morning. Like it's tomorrow the day you have to do it, and then send it tomorrow, not now. So we do the FaceTime, and I explain you step by step.
So I take these like these cotton like swab like ear like what you would put in your ear, and I put it up my nose like a nasal swab. And
yes,
then
it's a nasal swab, but it's not like go to the brain. It's just a little bit. You just go. It's not up to the brain, like they say. No.
And then like you like, and then after you like finish doing like all the sticks or like a couple of them, you put them inside of the tube, the plastic, the sealed plastic tube.
But you just use one. Those are refills. I don't know for what, but you just use one and one side for both holes. So you just use one side. At the same time, you're gonna use it in each. So you're just gonna use one side, and this is this side. You're gonna use it in each side of the nose, the same side of the cotton, and that swab you're gonna put it facing the liquid.
You know, I don't even know where like I don't know where this is going. I mean, I respect LabCorp for giving these like free tests out, but like if I test negative, I'm just not gonna believe them, and I'm gonna like write them a nasty letter like saying like that they're bad people and like I hope their business fails and this and that.
No, but you know what, Richard? I repeat the story of my family. My brother-in-law, everybody was exposed to everybody. So they went to the beach house. They spent together like a weekend, hugging each other, eating together, and blah blah blah. They were like 6 people coming in the car. My brother-in-law with my nephew and 3 friends of my nephews. The kids, none of them were positive. One of the kids had the test 3 times. Worried, him and the whole family went to like 5 times to the public place to take the test. All of them negative. It's impossible they didn't have it, but they took the test and negative. Okay, in the family, the mother of the girl the mother got to the hospital with all the symptoms and got in the hospital like for a week. Danny in the hospital like for 7 days also. Asa went to the hospital, my nephew, but only one night. And Asa, until today, negative, with all the symptoms and hugging the father, sleeping together, and blah blah blah. Negative with all the symptoms. And he went to the children's hospital. And negative always. The grandfather, negative, no symptoms at all. The little kid, 2 years old, with all the symptoms, positive. The other, the 4 years old, of course, all the symptoms, negative. So the doctor, it's a doctor of the family that is really like in charge, that he puts plasma and everybody. He put the plasma treatment in everybody that got into the hospital. Alejandro was the one that saved my brother-in-law because he made him go to the hospital. He didn't want to go. But Alejandro explained to me, I had the thing recorded. Explained to me 20% of the people that got the COVID, 20% of everybody is negative. And they have the COVID positive. So it won't matter the test. You have I'm not talking about the asymptomatic people. Everybody with the 100% of the tests are not accurate. 20% of the people get negative results and test it again and they are positive. So it doesn't matter if it's Quest.
Wait, so you're saying that like out of everybody who's gotten tested for the coronavirus, this new strain, that 20% of those the diagnosis that were negative they actually have it and it's a false diagnosis. So every time somebody gets tested, there's a 20% chance that it's a false result, basically.
Exactly. So it doesn't mean that your test is negative. It doesn't mean that you are really negative.
It could be that I have it. That is something that I thought about because, like, there's no way that there isn't times where somebody who has it, like, takes, like, the test and sends it over there, and they do it, they analyze it, and that the result is perfect every single time. I mean, the people that are analyzing it, they're not perfect. They make mistakes too,
Exactly. And it's not only that. People is already infected with symptoms and everything. That is why the hospitals are treating the people as if, without counting the test. So people being treated as if and then after that, they take the test and continue to be negative. So it is crazy. And then after that, they take the test of the antibodies, and they have the positive antibodies. So they had it, and they show negative results. So that is crazy. And then they have the antibodies, of course.
Wait, could you say that one more time?
They got to the hospital. They were treated as if without being tested immediately, because they were like with the whole panorama with the symptoms. Pneumonia, fever, no taste, no smell, senses, no? So they started the treatment the first day with the this and the second day with that and blah, blah, blah. So they were having the test like third day in the hospital to have everybody, they had the test and the results were negative. And everybody in the family got the test because that's the procedure. So everybody is exposed, everybody has to be isolated, no?
So you're saying that people who didn't have it, they went to the hospital, they got tested, it showed negative, but they were around people who were positive, and then they had to isolate?
You should be isolated if you are with somebody that is, if you are, let's say we are together having dinner in your place, and your place is that small, and I am infected. But by the time that we were having dinner in your place, I was infected, but I didn't know it, you didn't know it. So next day, I had the results, and my results came positive. And I told you, so you should be isolated. That's the way you should be isolated until you know the results of your test. Because other way you are at the transmission of like a lethal transmitter, because you don't know in which level you are going to be transmitting the COVID, because you can give it to someone that is not going to show any symptoms, or you can give it to someone that may have leukemia and die.
So you're saying that somebody who's gotten tested somebody who like gets a LabCorp test kit, like sends it out, and they are having dinner with their wife, and they ate dinner or whatever, and then the following day the husband, he gets the result, and it shows that the result is positive, that the wife should isolate for 10 days or something like that? Is that what you're saying? Or am I not making any sense?
No, that's the way it is. Like I told you that my cousin was in the hospital because she had the COVID, and my aunt also, no, in Mexico. So they were having dinner on Mother's Day, all the family. No, just it was my aunt, the little girl that went to the hospital for like a month, the father, and they were just there, no? So next day, my aunt and the little one got to the hospital with the COVID, but they didn't know. So while Aunt Delfina and Adriana went to the hospital with COVID, his dad had to be isolated, not in contact with anybody, because he was exposed, and he probably had the COVID because they were together that night and the night before. So until he got the results or showed symptoms or something, he was not able to go out, see anybody, just isolated, because he was 100% exposed. So that's the way people should behave until they get the results that they are positive or negative, they have to remain isolated because they are actually transmitting COVID. Like it's lethal, so you are a lethal transmitter. That's the rule. If you go out and you don't know, like I was exposed to my sister when my brother-in-law had the COVID, so I had the test, and Sebastian had the test, and I wasn't thinking I was gonna go to take my car to the shop, and Sebastian told me, "Mommy, you're crazy. How are you gonna take the car to the shop if you haven't got the results? What if you have the COVID? You're gonna infect the mechanic." And Sebastian was leaving the apartment to get to put the garbage in the outside, and he was wearing the mask because if he had the COVID, he didn't want to infect any old lady, anybody, because then the old lady would die. And I was like in shock because I wasn't thinking. So the way you should behave if you are exposed, like for real, if you are in contact with someone that is infected, if you're exposed, you should be isolated until you have the results. So that test you have there is in case you feel bad, or you know for real that you have been exposed. You have it there. So you don't have to go in any way to be exposed more. But let's do the test tomorrow in the morning, and then again we can order another one in the future. As I told you, I order another one for me and another one for Sebastian.
Wait, so your sister's husband tested positive, and you were around your sister at some point in the last few months?
It's Danny, my sister's ex-husband. So Danny went to Aguasantas. They went to the water all together, all the family. Danny, my nephew, and the other side of the family. So Danny got so much fever, felt so much bad that he came back and passed to Aguasanta's house to ask her for some Tylenol or something. And Aguasanta, that is so much paranoid, went outside with mask to get her medicine and everything that she had with the COVID. But then when she went to the car to give him the things, he didn't have the mask. But she opened the car and put the things in the side outside in the side of the back of the car. But Aguasanta was close to him, opened the door, put the things in the car, and closed the door. So she was in contact with him. So, and Danny didn't have the mask, and he had the COVID. He had it.
And when was this?
Danny got the COVID. That was I don't know, like it was well, I had the test about that was like more than a month, but it was a while ago. But I went to I'll tell you a story. I went to it was before my car broke. So I went to Miami the next day, and Santa told me, Ali, I don't know if I get into my mother's, because she was in quarantine, to get into my mother's, to get into the house or not. Because Danny went yesterday, and I saw Danny, I opened the car, and Danny didn't feel good, and I told her, of course not. And she wanted to give me a new mask, and I brought her some medicine for Dan. So she opened my car, got the medicine that I brought him, and got something from my purse in the car. So we touched each other, so we got contact. She never got the COVID, but I was close to her, so I got scared. And got scared. So you know.
But you and Sebastian did not test positive after you were exposed to your sister after she was exposed to her husband that tested positive.
No, not our Santa, not Sebastian, not me. None of the three tested positive. No. Danny, yes. Asa never tested positive, and Asa, of course, had all the symptoms. And Danny had the antibiotics, and Asa never got the antibiotics. And of course, Asa got the virus, of course. Going to the hospital with fever, lack of breath, everything, the whole thing. She tested negative. He tested negative. So I tell you again, are you going to take the test? Do you really feel like taking it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't have to be really in the morning. It can be like 11 in the morning. No. We do the FaceTime, and I tell you, and I tell you how to. I tell you step by step. So it's like the main thing is like, what do I do with this? Okay, you open the box, you put it like this, and then it's not really. I mean, you are more smart than everybody.
No, I'm not as smart as you or Sebastian or anybody in your family.
Come on.
You guys are Latin people. You guys rule the world. Except once me and all the gringos unite, no longer will you guys rule. Actually, we will rule. So just you wait. This is going to happen soon. And when Trump gets reelected, believe me, like we'll finally be back where we'll finally get back all the things you stole from us.
You're crazy. I want Trump to be reelected.
Why? Money?
What money? Everybody else, it's what? The one is a beetle that I believe he castigates himself. those fanatics that.
Do you know why? Do you know why Trump can't be like a whole like gringo like nationalistic, like why he can't be like kind of like super racist is because there's too many different kinds of people in America who have money invested in America and they complain. And when enough people, different kinds of people complain, eventually Trump has to back off and he cannot be like, do you know about Charlottesville? Have you ever heard of the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally? Have you ever heard of this before? Unite the Right rally. No?
Yes, I heard, but what is your point?
This was like a rally where like half the people wanted the South Confederate statue like pulled, and then the other half like it was like one side wanted to keep it, the other side wanted it taken down, and Trump said there was good people on both sides. And because Trump said this, like a lot of black people and minorities, a lot of Latin people too, they said that Trump is a racist and that he's bad for America and who we are in the 21st century and this and that. And then Trump, because Latin and black people and many minorities, gays, bisexual, a lot of different kinds of people have a lot of money invested in businesses, Trump decided, and Jews as well, like Trump decided to back off. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to talk about this stuff anymore, and I'm just going to focus on like, different parts of different aspects of American life than white and black and immigrants and and natives and American nationalists and all of that. So I know this is like a topic that is like like most people are just trying to live their life, so it doesn't really, in the end, we just want to like be happy, and we want maybe identity in our life. We want to have our identities, but we don't want to live our whole life like only focused on this identities, because like we will somehow miss out on other good parts of life. So
at the beginning, I didn't like him, but now this is the one that I want the most. And to tell you the truth, it's because there's no one better. That's what I believe. You
don't like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris?
No, not at all. And my friend's daughter is in charge of the campaign of Biden. I know that. Not at all. Not at all.
So for you, like, you can get more. So you're telling me that you can maybe, like, you would have a closer connection to, like, you would have a closer connection to the American government if Joe Biden won, but instead you support Trump because you like him more.
Yes, and I used to love politics when I was in my 20s. I used to love politics. Actually, that was my what I wanted to have as a career, and not anymore. I believe it's the worst anybody can do in life, get into politics. It's so I'm not interested at all to be connected. No, not at all. To have power.
My dad knows somebody that is very close to Hillary Clinton, and like, all of these politicians as well. But my family is also like very they have distanced themselves from politics. They try not to talk about it, except this one uncle I have in Palmer in Building 70 who ran
and you always fight with him.
Yeah, who ran in the 1970s, and he is pro-Trump. He's Republican, and for him it's like a festival. Like for him it's like a sport. Like if his team wins, that means he can go in his car and drive around like a crazy person and say whatever he wants and do whatever he wants. But if his team loses, he gets sad and he maybe goes to his room and maybe like stays there for hours in the middle of the day. Like this is, for him, it's like a big, like for some people, politics is everything. And for other people, it's like, it doesn't mean anything or it means very little. And for some people, they're like in the middle. And for them, it means like, I think you are the kind of person, for you, politics is like important, but it's not too important. Where
yes, in times of my dad, it was beautiful. My grands, it was amazing because they were able to build, and it was beautiful to build in those times. Like today, I believe it's awful. There's nothing. It's to have power. It's twisted. Like there's a lot of corruption. There's like in my father was part of the parliament. My father occupied diplomacy. It was in missions during his life, and my grandfather, who I told you about it, was they lived in Milan. So it is part of my life. But when you build, and it is amazing. But once it becomes like power, and that power that you are surrounded by beetles, that it's not like it.
When I underwent the neuropsychological evaluation with Dr. Lyons, we went to the coffee room or like the lobby area, and we quickly watched the TV, and she said something along the lines of, I don't know how politicians live with the fact that they say one thing to the public, but actually in private, they believe something else. Like that what you see on TV and what you read in the media, it's one thing. But if you actually met this person in real life and you actually drank with them for 1 hour, or you got to spend some time with them, you will see that they are actually a different person than than the image that you get when you read the news or when you watch the TV. And for instance, Joe Biden, in some ways I think he's better than Trump, and in other ways I think he's worse than Trump. But for instance, he never talks about when white people in America get murdered by other groups of people, and the reason he doesn't talk about this is because he knows how polarized the political climate is, and for him to say that white people get murdered by, for instance, black people in America, it would cause division within the black community, and black people will say to Joe Biden, we can't support you because you are creating division and you are stoking, you are somehow making it worse for us because you're not just talking about you're bringing up what's the point of bringing this up? Some black leaders would go up to Biden and maybe they would say this to him, and it's almost like the politicians, they have to pick, they have to say what all the different communities in America want to hear instead of telling everybody the truth. And the truth is, we're born into a world that's really nasty, and I'm here to make your life better, and this is what I'm going to do. These are the 20 and 30, 30, and 20 is 20. These are the 20 and 30 things I'm going to do for you and your family and your community, and this is why you should vote for me. But instead, it's all some kind of like a play, and it feels like, and you play your part, yes.
Yes, that's politics. That's what it is. They play a part. Yeah. So what time we do the thing? The FaceTime. I hope you don't get the COVID. I hope you don't have it.
Yeah, I would rather send out 3 different test kits and get 3 diagnoses that shows negative than wait 2 or 3 months, send 1 test kit out, get a result that shows negative when I'm not feeling so well, and then 2 weeks later get another one, and then that test kit shows I test positive, and then I feel I don't know. It's one of those things where you never really know, and it feels like, did you know that the coronavirus is already 4 times greater than it was 4 months ago? 4 million. How many people are infected in America? It's crazy.
It's half 50. It's half of the world is infected. It's something. So it's of half of the population. It's something. It's every 80 seconds somebody die. Every 80 seconds.
So it shows that 20 million total cases of coronavirus and 747,258 deaths. In America, I think it's like, okay, right here, it's 5,360,302 cases, coronavirus cases in the United States, and 169,131 deaths. So even though there is how many countries in the world? Probably like 300. 100. Okay, so 195 countries in the world, right? So America represents like 2/7 or like 1 to 2/7 of the total like deaths in the world because we're such a big country and we have so many people here. And now Florida has like as many cases as California. 594,808 total cases in California and 550,901 total cases in Florida. So right now, what's reporting, this is only what's reporting because who knows what the real numbers are, but in Florida there is 44,000 less cases than California, but I remember Florida was like lower on this list, and Florida. Okay, and now California has 10,810 reported deaths, and California has 10,810, and Florida has 8,770 deaths. So like basically like 2,000. Like California has like 2,000 more deaths than Florida. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, probably most of these are like over 50, like years old, like older people who have already like a pre-existing condition and then they test positive and or they die and then come to find out, like when they do all the analysis, they show that this person tested positive, and they say that it's a coronavirus-related death.
But that's in California, because here in Florida, there's they are putting all together, babies, the babies in and where is the babies are in where in Texas. What is the name? There's babies like newborns. ¿Cuál es el nombre? Corpus Christi. There's a place in Texas named Corpus Christi with newborns with coronavirus dying. That's horrible. And the worst feature is people is tired, is exhausted, is bored of the numbers and used to the theme of COVID-19. So I got shocked when I went to the shop to change the tires, and all these kids working for the shop with the mask. The mask was like an accessory, full of colors, hanging on the ear, like they were not really using it. And people getting in, getting out, coughing, or they didn't, like, I was like shocked, because it's a fact. People is getting the COVID, and there was a lady sitting down there waiting for the car to be fixed, and the lady was coughing. I got in and I left the place because I got shocked, scared. And maybe the other lady that was there had nothing, but maybe they had a parent with cancer. So maybe she was so relaxed, got the COVID, no symptoms, but went back home with COVID and got it to the parents, and the parents, like 3 days later, passed because she got the parents with the COVID. So you know what I mean? People is bored of the idea of the COVID and used to the people dying. This is like a unknown dimension, walking around with everybody since March with mask. What it got me more shocked is people used to the fact of people dying and not using the mask at all or using not properly. If you're gonna use that thing that bothers, use it right or just don't use it. Get it or get it to the I don't even want to talk about it because I have since March that I cannot hug my mother because my mother had cancer. So I am.
Alicia, if you don't mind me asking, is your mom still alive?
Yeah, mommy is fine. It's fine. She's fine and is in treatment and it's exhausted with this mask and going to the hospital every 3 weeks and she's fine. Up to date is fine.
So because I remember 4 or 5 months ago, a little bit longer, you said she underwent a clinical trial, like.
Yes, and the clinical trial that the cells are under control. They are not growing. They are still there. So they are equal. There is a term that we use about the malandros in Venezuela. The malandros are people in Venezuela. So those are the colectivos. Colectivos are the guys that are fighting with each other. That they are from the government, not really from the government. The government gave these people from the suburbs arms, so they are in the streets, not wearing uniforms, but they have arms. So they get together and they are against the citizens. So this is colectivos. So we call it colectivos and they fight against the population. So it's how can I call these people that is armed and they are citizens from Caracas, but they are with the government. This is for people that the government gave them arms to be with them. So I call the bad cells that my mother had colectivos, organizados. so these people are organized with the government fighting with the citizens, against the citizens. So I don't call anymore cancer those cells. The bad cells. I call it colectivos organizados. So the colectivos organizados that my mother has are under control. The clinical trial has them on control. So today you learned Spanish, a Venezuelan word. Colectivos organizados.
Colectivos
organizados, organized.
Colectivos organizados.
Perfecto. That's a simile. A simile that I use to make fun when I talk about something that is not fun. So my mother laughed about it, but she's fine.
But they are doing, like, right now she has like right now she's undergoing like I know I know you
It's
said
like
at some
chemo.
point she went through like chemo and immunotherapy,
Yes.
but right now she's undergoing just chemo.
No, she never had chemo. What she had since the very beginning was immunotherapy. What happened is that the doctor saw such good results that he decided to stop the immunotherapy on December because it got to 2 years. So he stopped on December. So when he did the new PET scan, my mother's cells went back worse than the beginning. So the cancer advanced in such a high time and advanced such that much that it was like terrible for us. So my mother qualified to get into immunotherapy and clinical trial. I don't know, she was lucky because just because she stopped immunotherapy for 2 months was almost to the point to not qualify. And then she qualified. If she wouldn't qualify, she would have to do the chemo, but she did. So the clinical trial has result on her, but not to the point that has reversed anything, just have her in control. Nothing has advanced or spread in any way. So it's just where it is. She doesn't feel any pain. It's just stress to go every 3 weeks to treatment and the side effects of the treatments. And
How long has she been in the hospital in Miami?
the treatment is only 4 hours, and in treatment she's been for since 2017.
So, but she's not in a room all day long for weeks to months to a year?
No, never in the rooms for weeks or nothing. She spent the day that she had the bronchoscopy. It was supposed to be 15 minutes, but she got into the ICU because something went wrong. So she spent the night. But that's the only that because of that. It was an emergency. Something it happened. Something they touched something and started bleeding, and she spent the night. But besides that, it's she spent the day every time she has treatment. But the treatment itself, it's like because she had like blood test and then the doctor's visit and the treatment. So it's like the whole day because it's one thing after the other. But the treatment itself is like 2 hours. So it's like since the morning until when she gets home, it's like 3.
So most of the time she's spending like at home with you?
My mother is when before COVID, yes, with all of us together. The day of the treatment, all of us were in home with her. But after COVID, she's only with my older sister and my brother. Like they take turns, but now she's with my older sister. And 2 of my older sister are with her, and sometimes my brother, but she's all with them. Yes, but since COVID started, no. Since Sebastian came here, not even touching the door, because I cannot expose.
And you're living in Palmyra, right?
Yes, I'm in Palmer. She's in Miami. I go there, and my visits are through the RAS with this and a mask and everything.
How sad is it that we've been speaking for like like 4 months or 5 months, and like I don't even know like I don't even know like which building you live in.
That is crazy. That is not acceptable.
I know it isn't.
I blame a pandemic. That's why I blame it. Because myself, I'm not like this. But I blame pandemic. That my best friend is not talking to me. She lives in Panama and she said, I think you're mad with me or something. Because, that is not acceptable, but it is what it is. It's paranoia, pandemia paranoia, but I think it's gonna be better. I believe. I truly believe.
So you're saying that your mom gets treatment at a hospital in Miami for like 4 hours, like at different times, and then she like goes back to her place in Miami, and then you just visit her, but she doesn't actually spend that much time in the hospital?
Every 3 weeks, she goes to the treatment, and it's for a day. She first, like 8 in the morning, she has blood tests in the same place. She goes to the second floor and takes the doctor's visit, and then blah 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 with the doctor, and then she goes to the ICU, gets that is with the infusion. The infusion is like 15 minutes one thing, and then 2 hours the other, and then she leaves. Now she goes by herself, and whoever goes with my mother waits outside because nobody can get in but her, and nobody can accompany my mother because of COVID. So that's every 3 weeks. Then the next day, she goes for the day before the 3 weeks, she goes for a scan, a CT scan, to see how the thing is working. And then the day before, she goes to another blood test to see how the treatment is working. So she's been exposed. And we got her like astronauts clothes to be, and mask and everything, because she gets to the hospital and get into those machines and everything. So she gets in with this clothes, and then after she leaves the place, everything that she's wearing, we break it and put it in a garbage case. Like, it's crazy.
So what kind of treatment does she have right now? What kind of treatment is she undergoing right now?
It's immunotherapy, and the other is like a little something that a little bit in the belly. That it's
like you just said an infusion, but like she's undergoing immunotherapy. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really even like. For me, without even like reading anything on this page, the only thing I know about immunotherapy is like trying to naturally like strengthen the immune system or something. Is a type of cancer treatment that helps your immune system fight cancer. The immune system helps your body fight infections and other diseases. It is made up of white blood cells and organs and tissues of the lymph system. Immunotherapy is a type of biological therapy. It is a biological therapy treatment of disease by activating or suppressing the immune system. Immunotherapies designed to elicit or amplify an immune response are classified as activation immunotherapies, while immunotherapies that reduce or suppress are classified as suppression immunotherapies.
That is correct. And the other is, I sent you the link, the name and everything. The treatment is only 10 people in the U.S. where by the time my mother started. And the one that is leading the treatment is my mother's doctor. Only 10 in Florida, sorry. Only 10 and like 60 in in U.S. or something. Now I'm mixing the numbers. I know only 10 in the U.S. when my mother started, but now my mother has been since when? Since my memory, forget it. It was rare in that time, and it's not going to the blood. It's in the belly, and it's an injection. And it has reactions, allergic reactions, the clinical trial. And my mother no longer has PET scans as before. It's only CT scans in the belly, the lungs and the belly. So I don't know exactly what is it that it does, but what I know is my brother went to Barcelona to see what was the last thing they were doing for lung cancer, and that was the thing. So when my mother started, when we saw what was going on, that the cells came back to before the beginning, worst, and the doctor came out with this new treatment. My brother said, "Wow, this is what I heard in the symposium. So this is the new thing." So we were like blessed that my mother got into in the treatment. I mean that she got the cells and the conditions and everything that was appropriated for her, because not only and she qualified at the age, because my mother is 81 now, so it was not something easy, no? I don't know, but she's doing good. I don't know.
You told me that she underwent or she was going to get a certain kind of treatment that only 3,000 people, or I forget how many people you said, like a very small pool of people were getting, or something like that.
Not I don't know about today, but in that time only 10 people in Florida. In that time when my mother started. So I'm gonna search again the name, and I'm gonna tell you the name. You told me that you wanted to study medicine. Are you still with that or not?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Don't sleep on your dreams, because
I don't even know what my dreams are, but my dreams are they're important, but they're important to me. At the end of the day, I think, honestly, I think everybody should know everything. I think it's the only way. Sometimes I think to myself, sometimes I'm selfish and I think, well, everybody should make their own mistakes and everybody should learn things on their own, and sometimes I get some. Do you ever have this where you get some information and you learn something and you're like, oh, I hope nobody else knows about this?
Yes.
Because sometimes I get this, and when I get this feeling, I think for a bit, I'm super happy, I know this and so many people don't know this, but then I also think to myself, this made my life a lot better, and and my life has changed because I know this, and therefore other people deserve to know that as well, or should know that as well. But yeah, I don't know anything about immunotherapy. The only thing I really know is that my uncle, he said at some point he said that in 10 years from now, if immunotherapy isn't on the table as a treatment option for people with for higher stages of cancer, that the doctor or those that like recommend like a treatment option would be punished and would go to jail in 10 years from now, because immunotherapy is going to become such a big it's going to be used by everybody, and it's going to be so successful and such a powerful treatment option that in 10 years from now, if a doctor doesn't do immunotherapy or doesn't recommend immunotherapy, he's going to be tried for malpractice. That's what he said.
Yeah. Well, my mother, at the very beginning, when she had she was diagnosed, it was really fast, and she did the test. She had the test, and it was the first treatment for her, with no question about it. And we didn't even know that exists, that treatment. So we found that in that appointment that was the doctor told us that she would have to have a liquid biopsy to find out if she was a person to have that treatment. And then a week later, she had a day to start the treatment. And we didn't even know. Well, my brother is like you. He is ahead of everything. So he already knew what was going on and what was to do this and to do that. He already know the whole story. So, but the rest, we were lost. Well.
So in the immunotherapy, right now your mom, she has stage 4 lung cancer.
Yes.
And this immunotherapy has these colectivos organizados, these bad cells. You're telling me that like, for instance, this year, 2020, so far, like, this immunotherapy treatment has either, like, because I'm reading right here, activated or suppressed the immune system in ways that would, so basically this therapy has stopped the cancer from growing, and is it possible to kill the cancer without damaging too much to where forget it, like, is it possible to somehow, like, because stage 4 means it already spread, is it possible to kill all the remaining bad cells off without damaging any more tissue or any more organs?
The thing is that they plan to use immunotherapy for 2 years and then stop to avoid more damage on the body, to protect the body, and then they stop it to be able to use it in case it's needed. So that is what the doctor stopped in case she needed. So when we stop, the cancer advanced and only stopped for a month or something. And my mother came back not to the beginning, but worse than the beginning. So.
And this was in 2019?
Yes. So then, it was at the beginning of the year, 2020. So then, it was 2020, the 2 years. Because my mother started the 17th, but in August. So I lost the track. So when we started the immunotherapy again, was not immunotherapy itself, it was the treatment. because the treatment is impossible to go by itself. It has to be together with immunotherapy. So both together, it goes up to 2 years if the body can handle it. So my mother is working fine with the treatment, both together, and there's no damage. It's when you see the scan says here is remarkable, there is fine, and blah 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 blah, and the cells are not spreading, no longer spreading. There's nothing, and there's nothing else anywhere else. There's even cells calcifying. Let's say my mother had thyroid cancer. That is calcified. And there's all over the lungs. But some of them, there's nothing smaller, but there's calcified. There's little ones that are like stuck, like gone. But there's so much that it's the only thing that you can see is that there's nothing growing. It's just stopped. In the lungs, around the lungs, there's nothing. Like the blood is fine, the bones is fine, everything. The rest, there's nothing spreading around the lungs. So the treatment is working in that sense, and the plan is up to 2 years. Otherwise, they say after 2 years might damage something. That's what they say. But we are like buying time, because within 2 years, there's something might come out, something new. We don't know. So within these 2 years, something that may come back, may come. So we don't know.
It's like a phenomenon where like people who get like treated for like cancer and they beat the cancer, but because they got the cancer, there is that chance that they will get the same, potentially that the cancer will like return in 5 or 10 years or something.
I don't know, Richard. I just.
When did you discover what stage was the lung cancer when it was discovered?
Same.
4? And it was discovered as a stage 4 cancer back in 2017?
Exactly.
Dang. Your mom is like the champion, like the world champion, because that is a long time. 3 years is like a long time to live with stage 4 cancer.
And with too many emotions together, so many emotions together, my father, the love of her life passing, and she going to the hospital at the same time, and the COVID, and the scary. It's too much. My mother is my hero. It's my hero. I swear. It's my hero. And this thing is put my mother so beautiful. You have no idea. She was heavy in weight, and we changed the way of eating. So everything is organic and no salt, no much salt, no sugar at all. And, well, now she is, well, you have no idea. So beautiful. Oh, my mother was always beautiful, but now, forget it. Forget it. So what can I say? I pray that my mother goes, but for something else, not with this, that goes away, but sneaking something else, because it is too strong. Too strong. But well. I hope these times good things is that this pandemic goes away, this dimension unknown goes, because it's crazy. Hey Richard, I was watching a movie and I stopped because I wanted to talk to you. The movie name, the name of the movie is The Little, but it's very real. It's the new movie, The Little, and the movie is great. I wanted to continue to see it.
Okay.
Right? So I called you what time to do the test. And by the way, I really, really enjoy the conversation.
I'll text me whenever. I'll write you when I wake up.
Okay, after you wake up, perfect. Remember, you have to take it to the, or you can or we can figure out if they can pick it up. You have to leave the package in the door because they say they can pick it up. So if they go to Publix to pick it up from Publix, they can pick it up from your house. But you have to call and make them to pick it up. I will take it there. Are you gonna go to Publix to drop the thing?
Yes, because I can. Are you busy tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I'll just walk over there then. Right now, like, so let me tell you this right now. Like, right now I'm living off like my grand uncle's like money that he left every individual member in the family, and like he left me like $250,000, I think. And right now it's like 130 something, $139,000, and I just asked my trustee if I can get a car so that I can start, like working again and everything. And she told me that first I want to see you like fill out some job applications and like get a job, and then like basically she implied that she would give me money for a car like after I fill out basically after I start working and making money, like she would give me money for a car because she wants to be very conservative about how she spends the money. I have enough money in my bank account right now to get a car, but I don't want to like spend like $6,000, $7,000 on a car right now. And plus I have legal, like I was arrested for speeding, and I have some things I think I still need to pay off. So there's things I have to pay for. I have to pay for my fuck ups from last year.
And you have to get the license clear, no?
No, my license is clear.
Okay. And you have any idea where you're gonna, how they can control your trust? That's
Because I guess and it's weird because every single individual member in the family like had different conditions attached, like for the money. I'm guessing my grand uncle Billy, he maybe like put my uncle to like a higher esteem than my dad, and therefore he didn't leave as many conditions attached for how my uncle would spend the money, but he did for my dad and for me as well, because I'm guessing it's because I'm my dad's son. And so my uncle, when he got the money, from my understanding, and the only reason I'm not saying this like I'm super nosy or whatever. Like this is stuff like that everyone in the family. Well, my uncle told me this at some point. He didn't have any conditions, but he was also, an older man. He was an old man by the time he got it. But my dad, he had conditions attached. So there was times where he was asking for money, and the trustee would not give him money because she didn't trust him. She didn't trust my dad with the spending of the money for his businesses or whatever, because I guess my dad has had business problems or whatever. So basically, everybody in the family has different conditions attached for the money, and for me, it's education and living expenses. So living expenses is food, bills, and and necessities and whatnot, and then education's college. But it can be it's not so strict. But if I ask her can I have money to buy if I email her tomorrow, can I have money to buy $2,000 worth of clothes and a new car so I can so I can start driving around and start going to different places or whatever to look for work? She would say no. She wants it her way. And this is something I've noticed of older women, women who are older than 60 years old. Everything has to be their way. Everything has to be their way, and your best option is to just kind of listen to them, because they or fight them a little bit. But if you fight them too much, then they kind of just they want things their way, because they're used to things being their way, and they remember older women, they remember when segregation was when black people still had to use different water fountains, and when et cetera, et cetera. But so I can't do whatever I want with this money. I have to basically play by her, I have to go by her pace, and that's what I'm doing right now. But soon I'm gonna get a car, and soon I'm gonna be back on my feet. And I know for you, I know you're somebody who life probably moves faster for you, right? For you, I'm pretty sure if somebody doesn't have a car, you kind of feel probably you don't want to waste your time talking to somebody without a car, because in your mind, if they don't have a car, they're kind of irresponsible, or they're just at a lower stage of life, which is kind of normal. But
no, Richard, no, nothing to do with that. You cannot say that because
you're still talking to me.
No. It's different when you don't know in what situation life is gonna put you in sometime, and not even that. Who is who to judge any situation or to ask about anything? No, there's there's so many things.
Alicia, let me ask you this. Do you burn, do you kill people in your head?
Well, I think there, yes.
Because
yes.
For me, sometimes what brings me a lot of relief and makes me feel very good inside is to throw everybody on the road. Every person that I know, it doesn't matter if they're my friend or if I don't talk to them anymore, if they're my enemy, I throw everybody on the road. I burn everybody, because I throw everybody on the road, and I burn everybody because I think it's very good for us to kill everybody in our heads sometimes. But it's also important to take that with a very precautious thing of not to let this be don't take it as that you can treat that. Don't take this as anybody should treat anybody differently. But for me, I like to kill people in my head. If I feel like somebody isn't making me feel the way that I deserve to feel, I throw them to the road. I still talk to them. I talk to them normally, like they're like everybody else, but in my head, I kill them because
It's a defense that you have that don't practice too much that thing because you can make it happen. So
no, Alicia, I'm Asian, remember? So if you know anything about Asian people, we are very like we know how to kill people on our head for 1 hour, and then we walk outside like we love everybody and nobody even knows that we do this inside our home.
okay.
No,
Okay,
no, I'm kidding. I'm a proud white male. So
no, I understand what you say. I totally understand the way you're playing with your words. I do the same. But I'm serious when I'm talking about don't picture too much, don't repeat too much those things because that thing might happen for real. Those delusions might come real.
wait, in my head because it brings me some form of relief. So Google Translate in Spanish. Wait. No.
Por favor, deje su mensaje para 786310873.
Hi Alicia, this is Richard.
Por favor, deje su mensaje para...
Te puedo llamar después. I don't get it. Sí. Sí. Yes. Te puedo llamar después. Can I call you later in Spanish? Te puedo llamar después. And I respond, sí. Hello?
Hello,
Hey, Alicia, what's going on?
how are you?
I'm doing good. I booked some time at the La Quinta.
A what?
I booked some time, like some nights at the La Quinta Hotel. It's
What is...
a bit south of South Course Drive, Building 23.
Who is this?
This is Richard.
And you book time at... what is that?
I booked some time at this hotel because the Latins, some of the Latins in Palmer, they went into my unit and they tried to like destroy my computer, copy all my files or something.
Why?
I don't know. I think Juan. Juan, he lives in on the fourth floor in 405, and he I think he wanted to do it. He basically was like, "We don't want this guy here, so we're gonna go in." And Glenn, he knows Glenn, and they were gonna go in and like, I don't know, copy all my files, or I think they already copied all my files, but I think they wanted to delete everything on my computer.
Why?
I I don't know, because basically maybe they think I shouldn't be able to. Maybe it's because they think I say racist things in private, or maybe it's because I don't know. He just doesn't like me. And it's not just him. It's other people. Even the gay. There's a gay couple living on the second floor in 208, I think, and they don't want me there either. So, like, it's so I booked some time at this hotel, and I'm happy because I still have all my stuff. I feel like I escaped like a bullet.
No, but go to the police. That is not that. I mean, go to the police or go to the association. Have you talked to your family?
Yeah. I thought you were in on it, honestly.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I thought for a second you were like you told you. I felt like you were telling things to others, and then they were like.
What are you talking about? I don't go. I don't live there. I don't go to the building.
Yeah, but you still own a unit there, so you have power.
What power? I own the unit, but no. What are you talking about? You go to the association and speak to them.
Yeah, the association is. Do you know this lady named Heidi?
I don't know anybody in the association. You just go to the building and speak to the manager.
Yeah,
and tell what is going, or write a letter to them. I mean, I don't know anybody in the building. I know the old people that used to live there is my friend that left the building, and I know a lady that lives. That is a young lady that lives. I don't even know what is the number of the unit. I know another Venezuelan, but I don't live there in such a long time. I tried to rent it, that the person left the unit. Because of issues that I'm trying to figure out what are the issues, but I have no idea. I'm trying to sell the apartment.
So like there's this facility near Publix, and they have a bunch of offices inside, and before I had problems with like my roof or my air conditioning or something in the unit, I would go there and I would go up to the third floor, I think, and at the end there is an office, and there's a lady that works for M&M and M&M Management that deals with the maintenance, and they have people working for them, and these people get to, like, Glenn gets to go inside of the different units inside of the buildings.
Glenn is a man that works for maintenance. You need to file a report of what they are doing to you, and you believe they are getting into your property and getting into your computer and trying to erase you have to file a police report. If you think that somebody got into your property and broke into your apartment and broke into your computer and damaged your property, you have to file a police report. That's to file a police report, to make an accusation. Such accusation, you have to put anything into paper, and you sue these people.
Yeah, I went up to the what was it, the third floor? No, this was I think yes, this was either
And you shouldn't leave your apartment and then to pay a hotel. What's that?
Yeah, no, it's scary. It's scary to file a report in the place where the people are like trying to destroy you. You know, like for me, or they're trying to ruin your life or something. For me, if I'm in a place where, you know, in a building where all my neighbors hate me or something and they don't want me there.
No, Richard, you have your rights. You own the apartment.
Yeah.
You live in the apartment. You have your rights, and then you win it.
No, Alicia, when there's 5 people and if you have 5 neighbors that live in the same building that they don't like you, you're pretty much powerless in that building because these people, not powerless, that's not the right word, but you're pretty much you're trapped because there's people around you that they spread poison or bad energy or whatnot, and but basically, I know not all of the neighbors were in on this, but like even I went up to the 3rd floor. There's a lady by the name of Audrey. I don't know if you know her. And
no, I don't know anybody in the building. I have no idea.
And she told me that that sometimes people do things in the units that are like illegal or something. Like somebody built a wall inside of one of the units on the 3rd floor, and the M&M, they came in and they tried to get in the unit or something. But the only thing that I think I did was I started yelling and stuff like that in the building 17 area. And but anyways, M&M, the problem with contacting M&M is that they were in on this. And Alicia, like for me, I know, like when I walk on the street, right, or when I talk to somebody, I can read their mind. Like I can actually look at somebody's face and I can tell, like I can pretty much tell what they're thinking or what they're saying. Not all of the time. I know this is really weird, but like I meditate, so like I can like kind of like enter into people's minds a little bit, and so I know from like talking to some people that like I could tell they were in on this. Like I just feel this energy. I don't know if sometimes you feel this. You can look at someone's face and feel their energy, and you know what they're thinking or what like they're speaking to you without saying anything. So,
but besides that, Richard, you own the property. It is your right to be there, not at any other place. So, write a paper, file a report to the M&M property. Send a letter, and they will be scared that you don't have to pay a hotel because you own a property, and if they bother you, you sue them.
So you weren't the person that changed my computer background?
What are you talking about? I have nothing to do with anything like that. I live in my apartment, my son's apartment, and I have nothing to do with it. What are you talking about? Don't mention that anymore. What are you
Alicia,
talking about?
you're really fast. Like you can pretty much fly down. You can fly, and you drop yourself onto somebody, and like they like. Like even though you don't live here, you have power. You know, your name is inside of the electronic box. Like I don't even have my name inside of the electronic box. So like,
well, you have to call the M&M property and ask them to put it in your electronic box, because I called M&M to put the name on the electronic box because I had people showing my apartment, so they have to do it. So listen. Don't mention when I knock on your door is to offer my help, because you live under my apartment, and sometimes there was an issue with the water in your apartment sometimes, and I knock on your door to see if everything was okay. And I knock on the door and I saw your face and I say, "Hey, how are you? You remember me?" So that day, I knock on your door and I offer my friendship. That's about it. And we continue talking and talking and talking. And this is me, Alicia, and a person that wants to be a friend. That's about it. And nothing have changed. Nothing.
So
there's something I want to tell you, Richard. You don't need to do this, to go to a hotel. You have your apartment. If somebody bothers you, it is your right to call M&M and accuse the people that is bothering you and is harming you. Because you own the apartment and you are as powerful as M&M because they work for you. You pay the maintenance, you pay the building association, everything. They work for you. You don't have to pay a hotel. That is your property. So go back, leave the hotel, go back to your property, call M&M and accuse the people that is bothering you. That's what you need to do. You don't have to go afraid to anywhere. That's your property. And if they don't like you, that's their problem.
yeah, Alicia, the thing is, when I live there, I feel like it's not even my property anymore. I feel like there's so many people have like farted like in my apartment that like it doesn't when I live there it feels like I'm living in fart. And
That's their problem. That's their problem. That is their problem. It's not yours. You have to be like sure that it's your property. That's about it. It's if they want to bother you, that's their problem. Listen, I'm gonna tell you one story. My parents were living in an apartment, and the people under my apartment, my father's apartment, were a couple that they didn't like my parents, and my father had dementia and was 80-something. So they moved to Miami not because of the people they were bothering, because of my mother's cancer. But they every day had a stick that they were doing noises on the roof to bother my father. So my father wasn't able to sleep. It was really hard. It was Campbell property, another property. So it was my mother and my father living by themselves with the nurse, with everything. But my father was 80-something and with the dementia. And my mother was with the cancer, like driving herself crazy with the stick in the roof, like bam, 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 bam. And these people was just, they didn't like Latin people living in the building. And they were living there like for I don't know how long. The lady was from I don't know where, and the other, they were really like in trouble by themselves. I don't know what happened with them. But they were just causing so much problem that Sebastian, my son, one day was about to smash them in the face. We sued them. We wouldn't be able to make them leave the property, but we sued them because they were causing my mother so much psychological problems that once my mother was like thinking that my father was with problems sleeping, like moving and talking and making noises because they were with the stick in the roof. Then my mother went to the room, Father, Daddy, Salvador, what's going on? And my father was sleeping, nothing. And my mother slip and fall because of something that was in the floor and had a dislocation of the shoulder. So lucky that I was there because I went to visit 8 p.m. because the paramedics were able to come because I was able to call them. So when these things happen, that there's people that hates you and you don't control them on time, sometimes comes a tragedy. Like if I was not there, my mother was in the floor with a dislocation, my father probably fall from the bed trying to help my mother, something else horrible would have happened. But the paramedics came, took my mother to the hospital by herself because I was to be with my father. So my mother had to go by herself to the hospital for the emergency room. My brother went to the hospital from Miami in 20 minutes, running in the highway like crazy to accompany my mother with the dislocation. So nothing happened. My mother came back to the house. Luckily, she didn't have the surgery, blah, blah, blah. So we didn't have the people moved from the apartment because they were strong. They were like for years in the building. But we sued them and we won because they were for a long time bothering people with dementia and with cancer, psychologically speaking. And we really, really, really fought for this. So at the end, what I'm trying to tell you is you stand for your rights. If there's someone in the building that is causing you harm, you stand for your rights and you stop them. You speak one with the property and name people from property number 1, number 2, number 3 is doing this and that and that. If they don't answer, send letter number 2 and ask for help from your family. If they don't answer, get a lawyer. But you don't move from your property because then you lose. And if you take the hotel, at the lawyer telling him that you have to move to a hotel because you were not able to handle the situation. But make sure that you're not bothering the other people because they may use that against you. And if you need my help, you let me know. So
yeah, Alicia, the thing is, I'm not really like as smart as I thought I was or whatnot, because like there's certain things that like I'm just seeing now and I'm just learning now, but like I do time things a little bit, like with messages and stuff, and it's like I noticed, like I wrote you something, and then a few days later I go to Juan's unit in 405, and he says something in the conversation, and what he says, it's like kind of like, it's like he says something that like I could picture you saying after I write you something, and it just kind of made me feel like, okay, am I being drilled in the head by like the Latin community in building 23? So that's kind of like why I, like, because I know word spreads fast, and I know everybody is talking to everybody. Like Juan, he's like telling, he like, I think he tells different things to different people, and because like, he's like, I don't speak to anybody and this and that, and then one of his neighbors tells me, no, Juan speaks to everybody about everything. So it just kind of like there's like a conflict there and stuff. But I get your perspective, Alicia. Thank you for clearing it up. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try calling Eminem now and see, and then gonna try to, I guess, call the police as well. So
You need to call them M&M Property and ask them for the email to the property manager.
Yeah, I have Brenda's. I don't know if you know Brenda at
the email. Yes, I have her. I have speak to her. I had contact with her with the AC problem I had in the past. Yes. So write her an email.
Yeah, I wrote her an email. I know she was in on it. You see, the big thing is with the COVID pandemic, these people aren't there, or they're working somewhere else, and they have their number, whatever, wired.
No, they are there because I went to pick up the keys for the roof, and they opened the door. No, they are there. They are there. You knock on the door with a mask, and they open the door. They are there. I mean, I went there like a month ago, or a bit left. So they are there. So but you write the paper. Write a note on handwriting. If you don't want to use the computer, handwriting, an email, and take a picture with the cell, and then send it. So you write an email and send it. It's you need to. This has to be in writing, so it's a record. You shouldn't be in a hotel. No.
Yeah.
No. This needs to stop. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah, Alicia, I'm about to start going like Indian on everybody. Like, I'm just gonna start going Indian on everybody in Palmyra, because like after this experience, I feel like if everything from my laptop would have been cleared, I would have, like, what I probably would have done is, like, bought like some kind of tool.
Why Indian?
I'm about to go Indian on everybody. I'm gonna start like
what are you talking about? You are in the United States and you are Richard Wallace. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna change my name or something.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. No, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I would do? I would talk to your family, to my family, and I would ask for guidance. That's what I would do. Okay, this is a situation. What do you recommend me to do? Because this is something that at this point you shouldn't be by yourself. Because this is getting to a dimension that to go to a hotel. No, Richard, don't be silly. This is not.
Well, let me tell you.
I'm sorry.
Well, let me tell you. Being in a hotel right now, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder, because even though they're like, everybody here is different or whatever, I feel like I'm not trapped. I feel like I can do things here.
That's relax. Okay, perfect. You need a vacation to think about it. Okay, take 2 days and then go back. But ask for an advice of your family. That's what I would do. In times like that, that's what I would do. If you don't want to go to your grandmother because of the COVID, just ask your uncle. Even though you don't. Hold on, I need to ask this number. Hold on.
Por favor, deje su mensaje para 78631.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Alicia.
Hi, how are you, Richard?
Good, good. I was wondering, in connection to your problem upstairs, do you have Glenn's number by any chance? I could reach out to him.
No, I don't have any number, but the association.
Okay. All right. I'll reach out. I'll reach out as soon as possible. Thank you.
Bye-bye.